just pull up the agenda for what we had.
All right, I think we're live. There it says so.
We
All
are.
right. Can everyone hear us fine? Leave a comment if any issues. All right.
Yeah, that's from the email. So I guess we'll go ahead and just start chatting. If anyone wants to chime in, then they can go do so through the comments. Yeah, so we are here again. It's me and Shabbir. Um, we are talking about fuel points today. Shabbir is actively buying
As
Kroger
of
fuel
today
points
again. Oh yeah.
as of today. Kroger fuel points, Home Depot, Best Buy, et cetera, et cetera. We originally did this broadcast for an FTU. I want to say 2-3 weeks ago, but
Yeah, about 3 weeks ago.
yeah, and we forgot to hit record, and so now we're here again.
Yep.
It's on Facebook Live because a lot of people wanted to watch the recording of the session. So let's go ahead and give an overview. Shabbir, if you could do a quick introduction, and I'll do a quick introduction from me, and then we'll go ahead and get started with the whole Kroger program.
All right. Not much of an introduction, but basically, I buy a couple of gift cards, Best Buy, Home Depot, and all the fuel points that are out there: Kroger, Safeway, Giant Eagle. If I'm missing something, then I'm not interested in it as of yet.
Very cool. My name is Steven. I actually buy other sorts of gift cards, but not the fuel points. I'm actually an aggregator for everything else outside of Best Buy. So, typically Shabbir and I team up. And so if there are any folks who have, like, say, an Xbox gift card, or if they have Home Depot gift cards, et cetera, he sends them my way. For folks who are looking to scale some volume, we send them over to Shabbir. So cool. With that being said, let's talk about why we would do this over traditional manufacturer spending. I know that we typically kick it off and saying, like, okay, hey, manufacturer spending has been more challenging in the last, I want to say, 6 months, especially with so many different things, either increasing fees or
Even from a
dying.
few years ago, once money order started, people asking, your full name on the debit card or Visa gift card,
Right.
and no one so far has claimed the name gift card recipient yet. So,
Yeah, right.
you know,
So I mean, this provides an alternative method for you to generate easily 6 figures of spend a year. And if you pair that up with new credit card sign up bonuses, you can easily hit all the bonuses pretty quickly with
very easily, yeah,
right.
multiple.
And so let's give a quick overview. Like, Shabbir, if you could talk about how the Kroger Fuel Points works and how you buy these items, and let's run through some of the math behind it.
So basically, you would just load your own accounts. You create your Kroger account using your default email, random 10-digit number. Most people who do this for in higher volumes have many accounts. Like I'm talking 100, 200 plus accounts. Once you do that, you basically just add the points to the account based on how many you signed up for. And by that, I mean, let me share this screen here with you guys. Let's see. Not this. Hang on a second. I should have set this up before. There we go. All right. So this screen right here. So it tells you like what I'm looking for. Giant Eagle.
You're not sharing your screen
I
yet.
am not showing the screen. What the heck? It says I am. Huh.
Oh,
All right. Hang on. Technical difficulties.
no worries. So while he's figuring that out, basically the value add here is that you're selling, you're buying gift cards, Amazon or Best Buy, et cetera, and reselling them for a slight loss, but meanwhile you're clipping a coupon to your account that gets you 4 times the amount of fuel points, and you're selling these to. Oh, there you go.
There it is. Good.
Yep, you're selling the fuel points to Shabbir so that at a certain rate so that you can offset that loss. So Shabbir, go ahead and walk through this.
All right, so this is basically just showing you the points I currently take. So you have Giant Eagle right now, I'm not taking any. Safeway, I'm not taking any. And then the big thing is Kroger, which is, they have a lot of brands. So like some people will tell me they don't have a Kroger in their area, but then when I ask them to make sure and check all the brands they have, they will have something. Like, and this is the largest grocery store chain in the country. So anyway, so the way I have it is the accounts are set up depending on the points are set up depending on how many you want per account. So I've got 2,000, 4,000, and just to give you an example, so all these people have signed up for it. So This GSF person, for example, is telling me that he's going to get 11 accounts with 2,000 points each. This guy is telling me he's going to buy 6 accounts or get 6 accounts with 2,000 points each for me, and so on. And then I have different rates which change. So right now it just says 11.25 per 1,000 points, whether these come with a gift card or without. You have your due date. And then similarly with gift cards, Home Depot paying 94, for example, that's the rate. This is the total amount I'm looking for, which is right here, and this is as people sign up, they just reserve whatever amount they want to they plan on getting. Same with Best Buy. The rates are higher for Best Buy. They always will be. This is probably the highest. Actually, it is the highest reselling gift card brand out there.
So let's
Yeah,
pull
go
up
on.
a new sheet. So say
Yep.
for example, you're buying a $500 Best Buy gift card, right? And you're paying 96.5 on it, right?
Right.
Percent of face value. Uh, so let's put that on
So
screen for people just to kind of visualize this real quick. So 96.5% of 500.
so in this case, it's 95.5 right now.
Oh, sorry,
So
95.5. So
yes.
you know,
So you get four
Shabbir
times
is
the
paying you
points. Mhm.
$477.50 for the Best Buy
Gift
gift card.
right.
But then you're getting 2,000 fuel points because it's 500 times 4 based on the coupon,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then he's paying 11.50 per um
Per 1,000 points,
per
11.25
thousand,
right now, which
right?
translates to 4.5%
Right.
additional back.
So
So
all in,
mhm.
you're spending $500, and then Shabbir is paying you 550 cents, right? And this is just for one.
Hang on, let me see. Let me calculate real quick. I think it's a little lower right now, and I'll give you the guys the reason why. So this should give you actually 497.50. So you're losing 2.50 per gift card. The reason for that is, let me stop sharing the screen, because people, hang on a sec here. I'll share it again later. But anyway, so the reason is a little less than all your money back is because as the month goes on, the points become less valuable because they're closer to expiration. And anyone who's not familiar with these things last the month you load them in, and then the next end of the following month. So since we're halfway in July, right now these only go another 6 weeks, and then the points expire. Whereas at the start of the year month, they were for a full 2 months, so people were willing to pay more for it. And at this point, most people who wanted the points from me, especially the big guys, they've already gotten there. So the only way to get them to get more is reduce the price slightly. Otherwise, they might as well wait for next month. So that's why normally, though, the rates you get back 100%, or in many cases you get more than 100% back. So you make a slight profit and you get to keep all your credit card rewards. And of course, for that you would want to use a card that gives you grocery bonuses, unless you do really high volumes and those cards are tapped out. Then of course
Yeah, and
you
so
do whatever you do whatever you got.
some people who have I mean, we'll throw down like the Amex Gold
Hmm.
for the 4XMR on the for groceries, or some people do the pay yourself back through Chase to cash out their ultimate rewards points, or if you have a like a B of A card that gives you 2.65%. So that's just a method. This is just a method for cheap, if not slightly profitable volume for just putting through your credit card, right? Like Shabbir said, like if you've tapped out all your other credit lines, like because some people will easily do 50, 60 grand a weekend when these promotions go on, or more. And some credit cards cannot handle that much volume, then they'll
Right.
start spreading the volume across different credit cards just to make sure that you can handle the bandwidth.
So yep, exactly. So there's that. And often, so while officially these are 4 times promotion, as in you get 4 times the points. Kroger IT, I guess I don't know. I guess the best way to look at it is there's the city of retailers. Their IT is just terrible, and it usually works in our favor. So last week, so from the end of June, I think June 30th or something, until basically July 13th. So for 2 weeks, instead of 4 times the fuel points, people were getting 8 times the points. And the rates were higher slightly. So basically, people were making about 5% in profit. and getting to keep all their credit card rewards. So you had people, if someone was doing $100,000 over the 2 week period, which several people did, they not only did they make about $5,000 in straight up cash, but they got to keep all their credit card rewards. So $100,000 would obviously get many, many, many sign up bonuses, and even beyond that, just regular, like Hilton, for example, $100,000 spent on that Amex Hilton card gives you 600K Hilton points, which is more than enough to spend 5 nights at the Waldorf Astoria, Maldives, which we'll talk about later.
Assuming they don't claw it back.
Assuming they don't.
Right.
Yep.
I've had about 300,000 points clawed back in the last 2 months. So
yeah, so that's an example. So maybe you don't want to put that much on one card, but that's just as an example. People spread it around many, many different cards, especially someone who's doing $100,000 in 2 weeks. Most likely their credit limits aren't that high on any one card.
Right.
So they'll naturally spread out. But yeah, but that's just how good it can get once things align. But even without that, even without the cash profit, you're pretty much always getting 100% of your money back, if not slightly more, and then keeping all your credit card rewards. So worst case, have the points get clawed back, you tried, and you get a little bit of money for it. But this is very rare. In most cases, especially right now, unless you do insane volumes. But people who do insane volumes know how to, go around that basically. Otherwise, many people just use it for sign-up bonuses, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. So one of the Facebook users asked, do you find Kroger fuel points are actually worthwhile? I was always frustrated by the lack of lucrative structure. What am I missing? So we don't know by lucrative structure, meaning that like selling these, you either break even or make a slight profit, or if they're talking about like, okay, hey, it's difficult to use them. I think before we do that, let's talk a little bit about the valuation of the fuel point. So, at least in Southern California, fuel points every 1,000 gives you the capability to knock $1 off of your gas at Shell gas stations up to 35 gallons. So whenever I go fill up, I'll take me, my wife, and maybe like one other family relative. We'll all three go to the gas station and fill up 3 cars pretty easily. I mean, it brings the price of gas way below what Costco would provide, about
Right.
75 to 80 cents cheaper than what Costco offers. And I can stack Shell gift cards on top of it, right? So that in certain parts of the country, like in Virginia, you can actually get this the price of gas down to like 10 cents per gallon. So that's kind of where the value prop for using Kroger fuel points. So when Shabbir sells the fuel points to other people, he's helping them get a discount on gas, especially for these companies who have like people who drive trucks, or people who do a lot of delivery, stop and go.
Right, and they have a lot of vehicles, large family pickup trucks, big vans, et cetera, et cetera.
Right. If we're talking about the whole selling this, if the expectation is to always be profitable, then obviously you're going to have to wait till times when cards like Best Buy or Home Depot are higher in volume.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to say, Shabbir, through most of the year, if you average it out, you're profitable. You're at least on par, if not profitable.
You're usually profitable, yeah. It's very rare. Like just right now, like I mean, they had a 2 week promotion, so I collected around 8 million in fuel points, and then 5 days later, after that ends, they run another one. So it's like everyone's already pretty much gotten what they wanted to get from me. So, but then I was able to still find few people who still want more points. So
that's freaking
it's
wild.
up there.
8
So we're
million,
at like, let's see, where am I now? Right now, I think I've now. Yeah, about 8.3.
That's like 8,300 fill-ups. That's wild.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That's minting money.
Saving people money, while the corporations gouge you. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, as far as, if you were to take a swag without like having to look through all your sheets and whatnot, what's the average yearly volume that an average person, not someone who's camping out at a Kroger like all weekend long,
All right,
10
average
hours a day.
in a year, you're saying, right?
Right.
I
Because
think maybe from the people I have, about 200,000, I'd say, over in a year.
Okay.
250 even, some, because there's a lot of people that go in not a lot, sorry. There's a few people that go in the 7-figure range. of yearly spend with
Right,
me,
right.
and
Those are
then you
the
have
folks.
many, right? So those are a few folks, but then there's also several who do, 400 or 500 a year. But then you have people on the lower end who are maybe spending $4,000 or $5,000 per promotion, and you get maybe 20 of those in a year. So
Right.
not too much. So low six figures, high five figures at the
So
lowest
so
end.
so let's just say someone does $200,000 a year,
Hmm.
right? Break it down by math, divided by 12. It's a little bit over 16 grand a
Per
month because these
right, yep.
promotions run about once a month, from what I've seen.
Right,
Sometimes a little
and
bit
I think
more. Sometimes,
lately they've been doing it more because I guess after Best Buy put limitation on Kroger. So by limitation, I mean if anyone's not familiar, you can only buy $1,000 worth of Best Buy gift cards within every 10 minutes. So because of that, I'm sure Kroger is losing a lot of volume. So they decided, all right, screw you, Best Buy. We'll just have more of our 4x promotions because I'm sure those are the cars that sell the most during those promotions, just based on people like us.
right, right, right. And so it breaks down to about 17,000 a month, and you're buying $500 at a time. And so, you're the average time commitment. Is, buying 34 um, times 500 of the gift cards a
Hmm.
month. I mean, you're talking about 10 a day, maybe spending about an hour and a half, 2 hours at Kroger for quite a bit of profit. If you're
Right.
between the credit card spend, you should be earning at a minimum of 3%. Um, between sign up bonuses and the grocery multiplier, I mean, it's not a bad chunk of change when you think about it.
Yep. And then you'll have, and this is just we're talking about Kroger fuel points, but then there's another store which is it's called Myers. It's very abundant in the Midwest, and they often run some crazy promotional gift cards, something like 10% off. And a lot of times it's just store credit, but here and there, what they do is actually take 10% of the purchase price. So even if you forget fuel points and you're just buying Best Buy at like let's say 96%, and you know they're 10% off, you're actually just making 6% profit. Plus, Myers has their own reward system, and this promotion is so big that people actually literally, and could you not, fly out to a place with a lot of Myers just to camp out during this promotion. And when this happened last, the big one, there were people over a weekend, they were making, I think, 9, 10 grand in cash, not including any rewards they would get from the credit card in 2 days. Just a weekend, $10,000 profit, just like that.
Yeah, I mean, at a different scale, you can do this with other gift cards too. It's not just. I mean, Best Buy is the most
It's
popular
the
one.
highest resale value
It's the
too. So in
highest
that
resale
sense, I mean,
value.
yeah.
I mean, there are other regional, local
Hmm.
um, promotions. Like I see on the chat, there's a Facebook user that's from LA. Actually, Stater Brothers is running a current promotion until Tuesday, where it's buy $50 in various gift cards, Nike being one of them, and Macy's being the other. Um, $50 and get $10 in free groceries. I've been banging this out like 3 times, 4 times a day because there's a Stater Brothers literally next door to my house getting like 40 to 50, 60% on discount on groceries.
Right.
So
So there's other things too. Stefan specializes more in the lower, or sorry, not lower, but I guess lower volume gift cards, right? That's the best way
everything
to say
else
it.
outside
Yeah,
of Best Buy. Yeah.
everything else.
Yeah.
And really quickly, if Hans is still watching, I'm not sure what you mean by your question. If you could, I guess, rephrase that, please, whenever you get a chance. Um, anyway, yeah. So that's Best Buy. That's fuel points. What else is there about those? Hang on, someone. Guess I'm good. Okay, yeah, Paul. um, so yeah, so right now it's a little lower than 100%. It's still worse on its worst day. It's still better than money orders, which some people can still do. Not only are is a very the volume is much lower that you can do in most places or for money orders, but you still pay the 1% fee here. Even in the worst case, you're losing 0.5%, which is still much better than money orders. And again, normally you'd make more buying straight up Visa gift cards. Banks or credit card companies don't look at you. I mean, they'll still look at you in a funny way depending on how much money you're spending, but it'll be more like, oh look, haha, it's a squirrel walking, not like who is that bastard. So yeah, so it seems to be much safer as well as for shutdown purposes for folks that are worried about that and they do a large volumes of spending normally.
Yep.
Uh, what else?
Real quick for the person going to Stater Brothers tomorrow, it's the coupon is in the printout ad. So go to the front of the store. There are very specific gift cards that they apply to. So you need to
Mhm.
scan the coupon after you bring up, and you have to have $10 of groceries when you check out. So
Exactly. Yep. So So yeah, so you've got that, and what else? There were some more questions. Remember last time we did
Last
this,
time
and
it
I
was
forgot to
more
do that.
interactive and live. They were firing
Yeah,
a
I'm not sure
lot
how
of
to
questions.
actually make a comment in here while streaming. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. So there's a comment that says the main limitation with Kroger fuel points is that it made me think it wasn't worth it was the $1 off max. Very hard to liquidate large amounts, but if you buy them, then that changes it. Yep, Shabbir is
Well,
buying.
so as far as the points go, it's you're almost always going to, well, actually 100% going to come out ahead further if you're able to use them yourself. Because I mean, let's say I'm buying it at 1250 per 1,000 points. There's I don't think there's any. Is there even a car out there that has a tank less than 12.5 gallons? I don't think there is. I think 14, 15 is like the smallest you get.
Yep.
So basically, so that'd be like saving yourself $15 instead of selling it to me for 12.50, if that makes sense. So always 100% of the time you'll be better off using them yourself. But if you're getting like 10,000 or 100,000, or in certain cases, or in certain people's cases 500,000 points, then well, you cannot really use them also, then that's when you'd sell them. And as Mike Bono just said, Nashville and Richmond, as well as not just Nashville, but Tennessee and parts of but good part of Alabama and Richmond, you can actually use more than $1. You can use as many points as needed, up to the nearest 10 cents. By that I mean, if gas is 2.74 per gallon, you can use 2,700 points to make it 4 cents a gallon. And that's when this gets even better, again, for your personal use. And if you cannot use them, then I just find people who buy them or get access to your account. Sorry, you're not allowed to sell the accounts. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm having a conversation on the side with one of the folks, and it brought up the Safeway fuel rewards. I know that you buy them occasionally. One of the interesting things about Safeway is that you can use them for groceries.
Yep.
So sometimes they have the 10x or 8x fuel rewards points, and people go ham on that. I actually the part of the $300,000 Hilton Point clawback was because I ran out of bandwidth between BJ sale. Costco had a promotion going on. Sam's Club had a promotion going on. So I was running out of bandwidth on all my cards. And I'm like, I know I shouldn't really be putting a lot of volume on my Hilton and Marriott cards at the grocery store. But, forget it. Even without the credit card points, I'm still coming out ahead.
Exactly.
The thing about the fuel points at Safeway is that when they have this 10x event, you can redeem the points for free groceries, and then that way it can help offset your cost there. Most of the times, it's better to redeem them for actual items versus reselling them, because the max that you can take off per gallon is 20 cents.
Cool. Are you talking about Safeway, or
Safeway, yeah, Safeway fuel rewards.
it's still $1, I think, but it's just
Yeah,
limited
certain ones,
to.
but it's not as
Oh,
the
I didn't know
footprint
that.
isn't. Yeah, if you do it at Chevron, then it's only 20 cents. But
Oh,
if
at
you
Chevron, yeah, but I mean, the Safeway pump, it's still $1, but then you're only limited to 25 gallons,
right,
versus Kroger is 35. So even when I say you're better off using them yourself, you still want to try to go with like a couple of your like personal vehicles and use the full 35 gallons, because no one's gonna pay you $35 for 1,000 points. So you're
yeah,
100% better
yeah,
off. And that's what I try to do sometimes. Doesn't always work, but
yeah. It's easier for me to find a Shell than it is for me to find a Safeway
in
gas
your case,
station.
yeah, there isn't
Yeah,
really, and there's no Kroger stations. Just as RAF, I don't even know if they have stations down there or not.
they do have one or two, but they're hard to find,
It's
and,
hard to
and
find.
they're
Yeah.
in neighborhoods that I prefer not to go to.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
That's probably why they partnered with Shell. That was a smart decision on Kroger's part. So it
yeah,
works out for everyone. Kroger gets more people buying gift cards and whatnot in California, and Shell gets more customers. So everyone wins.
yeah. Cool. So we're about 25 minutes in. Last time when we did the FTU presentation, we had some discussion on Maldives, but we wanted to kind of open up to the floor for anyone who comments. Is anything else we want
And there
to
were more people
cover?
watching that too. I think right now we've got like 25 people. There we
Right.
had like almost like 80 or something.
So just give it a quick moment for see if any questions stream in, and then if not, then Shibber, you can have the floor for talking about how to book
Maldives.
Maldives, the new properties, et cetera, et cetera.
Absolutely. Let's see. Anyone at all?
Not not all at once.
Nope, nobody. Okay. So let me hang on, share my screen again and take it away from here. Uh, all right, let me see. Can you see my screen right now?
Yep.
All right. So Maldives. So while we know there are, I'm just gonna take you guys to
It's your
this thing
gift
right
card
here.
reservation sheet.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm just changing it. Yeah, I know. I forgot to change that. So we've got it. There we go. So while points are great for Maldives, sometimes cash will make more sense because can you not see? Oh shit. Okay, hang on. It's not updating it. Oh, now it is. Weird. All right, hang on. Sorry. All right, there we go. All right, so this is one of the places I use. There's two sites I use if I want to pay cash in the Maldives, and it makes more sense than points. One of them is this place called Luxury Escapes, which has a bunch of other things, but really that's the only place I use it for. And just to give you guys an example, really quick. Why is it asking me to do all these things? So right now it has. So you've got all these places. So you see, if you see, just to look, just so what I'm trying to tell you guys is, if you look at the prices here, so in this place, 5 nights start from $1,800, and that includes. So these are the big things: all included dining. You get your drinks included, and you get your transfers. So transfers for many places, even something like I think the cheapest on points is probably Park Hyatt, relatively speaking. And even for them, I believe the transfer cost, I was just there a few months ago, is about $450, $500 per person. So if you have two people, you're looking at $1,000 right there in just that. And then yes, you get your breakfast included because you're globalist or someone gave you guest of honor or great. But then you have to pay for your lunch, your dinner. For two people, if you drink any alcohol at all, simple dinner will cost you probably $150 per night. So 5 nights, you're looking at $750. So right there between just dinner and your transfer, you're looking at $1,750. And this whole thing, all of it is $1,800 for 5 nights, and that includes that includes your transfer you normally pay for, your food, your breakfast, lunch, dinner, drinks, and of course the best thing, you didn't just use 150, 150,000 Hyatt points either. So it's just sometimes much better. And then you have nicer properties like this one. It's much more expensive, but this thing is this is a really good property actually. And then the other one I use is right here, Travel Zoom, which I'm sure many people have seen around because I've mentioned this one specifically in many different other places, other groups. Sorry. This one has more variety, but the most of the time the places aren't as nice. Like this one, for example, and they're also not very accurate. Like this one, for example, it says this thing starts at 9,700, but when I put in a random date, you're actually saving very little. It's not worth it. So you have to really do some research on it, basically. So those are the two places I use if I want to pay for a stay when it makes more sense than using points. Now, when it comes to points, there's several Marriott properties. Le Meridian is just about to open up, which is I think it's only like 240,000 points, including the fifth night free for 5 nights, which is insane. Then Marriott has a W, a Westin, JW, a St. Regis, and I believe a very newly opened Ritz Carlton as well. Then you've got Hilton has Conrad, Curio, and Waldorf Astoria, and they're coming out with the fourth. Yes, Kathy. It's luxuryescapes.com. Anyway, yeah. Sorry. So we've got Curio, Conrad, Waldorf Astoria, and they're coming up with the fourth, just branded Hilton. So Hilton will have 4 points option very soon. Hyatt only has the one, so they have the weakest presence, but they're trying to get an Alila opened up later this year. So they will have two. And then you've got Intercontinental IAG, which only has an Intercontinental, which is pretty nice actually. But then the other ones is Holiday Inn, which just sucks. So I don't know, look at Holiday Inn. So that's the point hotels you've got.
Real quick,
Yeah, yeah,
just for discussion purposes,
yep.
because obviously you're a fan of Maldives, but I think there's a really polarizing opinion about the location because some people are looking like, okay, hey, I'm spending. If you're coming from the West Coast, you're going to be 22 hours in the air, and then you got to spend, you know, $500 for plane transfer per person.
Very true.
Um, Talk to me about what the appeal for you is, right? And then some of the other things to where it's like you should warn folks about, like, so for example, if you're only going to be there for 3 days, it's probably not as
No, I
advised.
mean that's a seaplane cost will be like $1,000. You don't want this like spending for almost 350 per night.
Right.
That's
and,
not
and,
gonna be good.
and plus you're going to be jet lagged like crazy, so I don't know how
Mhm.
much you're going to enjoy it. So yeah, talk to us a little bit more about
So
like
I
the
mean,
appeal.
if you're someone who just likes everything to be like almost perfect, like there's Maldives is about the ultra luxury experience. Pretty good food in most places. I'll say most places because we had a bad experience at one of the resorts in February. So just it was just like it was one of those places where the hard product was really good and the soft product was pretty much the opposite of the hard product. So it was like just awful. And so we ended up leaving it and went to Park Hyatt instead. We were like in such a hurry that we literally booked Park Hyatt for the very next day and just went to that. Anyway, so normally when I go, I would never just go to Maldives only. Like I would make sure there's at least you have a couple of weeks you can go for. So you spend maybe 5 to 7 days there, which is pretty good for to get an idea if you like it or not. And then Maldives is like right here. Yeah. So this is all. There's a bunch of islands over here too. So it's right in the middle, well, of Asia, of the Middle East. So you have very easy access if to go to Sri Lanka, which is an amazing country. Then you've also got many people spend a few days over here in
Dubai.
Dubai, Abu
Yep.
Dhabi, and also because well, a lot of people will fly there through using Emirates or Etihad, and they stop there anyway, so people do that. And then if you're flying Qatar, you can spend a couple of days in Doha. I wouldn't do more than that. There's not that much to see there. But then and then another plus side of the Maldives is you hop over to Colombo, and I don't know how many people know this, but Colombo has one of the best cash fares in the entire world. Like you're looking at under 2,000 to pretty much anywhere very often in business, or like $3,000-4,000 in first class round trip. And if you're flying, for example, Qatar, and you're flying business class and you have Alaska 75K status, you're going to be getting on that cash fare on the round trip. You'll be getting enough miles to go one way anywhere in Qatar business just from the miles you earn on that sub $2,000 fare,
Yep.
which is just crazy. And then
It's
you
a
have some
steal.
leftover. It is
Yeah.
insane. It's crazy.
So someone's asking, oh, there's two questions. First,
Cash
is what are
first,
your
yes.
favorite cards to run volume on the Kroger deal? And I was chatting with Mike on the side. For me personally, there's a Bank of the West card that gives uncapped
Hmm.
3% across the board, right? Depending on your credit limit, and obviously you don't want to be cycling through that.
Yep.
And then the other one obviously are the grocery spend. So if I'm sitting on a ton of ultimate rewards points from my wife, then I'll run that through, or I use any of the fee-free promotions from like Staples or Office Depot, Office Max to burn on these Best Buy
Yeah, there are many people who
purchases.
do that. They'll use
Right.
their
What?
Staples gift card, or sorry, Visa gift cards from Staples.
Yep.
Use it as
So
best Kroger.
what are some of the favorite cards you like to use
So, all right. So here's a
to run
crazy thing.
volume?
I do not do any of this myself.
Oh,
So,
you
I know I'm
lazy.
terrible. Hey, sample your own product.
Right.
So, but many people, you will use the Amex Gold Card, and they have this thing with referrals going on where if you refer someone, I think you get like 3 or 4 times. Sorry, I think it's 3 times points. I forget. I don't remember. I think it's 3 or 4 or 5 times more points on the gold on top of the 4 times you already get on grocery for that card. And
And we
in
lost.
two-digit number. Oh, there we go. In 2 digits, two-digit numbers of that card. So they'll have like 11 or 12 or 13 gold cards. Then you've got the Hilton card that gives you 6 times points, or any other Hilton cards gives you 3 times points everywhere. You've got Let's see, a Delta Platinum, I believe, personal that gives you 2 times on grocery spend. There's the Asiana card that gives you 2 times on grocery spend, which is actually their miles are very valuable as well. Um, what else? I guess Chase Freedom works since it's 1.5 times everywhere. Sorry, unlimited, which is
I would caution against using a lot of chase volume. I mean, I know a few people who've been shut down because of
yeah,
consistently putting through high volume. So,
right,
I
yes.
mean, I'm banned for life from chase. So, just make sure, if it can, there's life after chase. There's no life after Amex, is what I've been telling some folks.
Oh yeah, Amex is just amazing. Just don't in trouble with
Don't piss
Amex.
them off. Yeah.
Don't piss them off. Yeah, I prefer. I mean, the only Chase card, UR card I have earning is the Ink Plus, and that's just because of transferring, because that's the only card with the UR card that I have that has a fee, so I need that to transfer points. Other than that, I only have Freedom and Freedom Unlimited just because I've had it for a while. The Hyatt card is really good to use. Very good actually, because you can MS your global status through that. Um, if you get to 15,000 points, worst case, or $15,000 spent a year, worst case, you get an extra certificate. Plus, you also get 11 elite qualifying nights because you get 5 for holding the card, and then 2 for every 5,000 you spend. So is it 11? Yep, 11.
Yeah.
So you get 11, and you're that much closer to globalist. And then not only that, but once you get past 60 nights that globalist gets, every time you spend another 10 nights, you get 10,000 points or a suite upgrade certificate at Hyatt. And if you account for that 10,000 points you get after you get 60 nights, then using the card to get those 10 nights basically equates to 1.4 Hyatt points per dollar spent, versus the Chase Freedom Unlimited gives you 1.5. So you're very evenly closely matched, especially if your UR transfer is mainly to Hyatt. But on top of that, it's not something that's written anywhere, but I have definitely noticed that when you have more than 60 nights, like 70, 80, 90, 100, you get treated quite a lot but different, especially internationally. In the US, it's just no one cares, like with any chain really. But even then, US, I mean, Hyatt, I guess, is probably the best with benefits in the US. Outside the US, I mean, even Marriott will give you a nice suite. Pretty much everyone will. But with Hyatt, at least if you have more like 100 nights or 90 nights, they'll treat you much better. So, I mean, I very regularly get beyond standard suites. And it seems to have happened ever since I crossed well past the 60 nights a year. So
Nice.
either it's a coincidence, or I mean, I don't think it can be for like 3 years in a row. So so it's just I guess an unspoken benefit that no one really knows.
Yeah.
Um,
Cool. Real
yeah,
quick. So they said, talk to us about deciding cash
cash
versus
versus points. Yep.
points. My first stab as is like, hey, with any currency, so cash is also technically like fiat, like
Mhm.
everything else. So it's a matter of what's the least amount that you can spend. So between all the different currencies conversions, I know Doctor of Credit puts out this valuation, but ultimately it comes down to what's
Your own
worth it to
personal,
you,
yeah,
your
yeah.
own
It's hard
personal,
to
right?
don't go by anyone's value, basically, right? Yeah, it's
Right.
just do your own thing.
Because there are folks who will obsess about maximizing a redemption, getting 13 cents per point, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, I'm just throwing an arbitrary number out there, but say for me example, I have 1.4 million Hilton points that I'm trying to get rid of, right? So and they continue to devalue every day. So I'm like, okay, if I can't cash this out quickly, then my preference would be to burn these down to keep the balance a little lower than what it's at currently, right?
Yep, and another way, like a really quick way to decide, I guess, not a really quick way, but one way is like if you've been in the points thing for a while, you probably know that you can sell these points to brokers. So I mean, it's against the program's terms, but I'm not going to get into how to sell them. But if you know who would buy them from you, then one way you can value cash versus points is if you can whatever points you save by paying cash, if you could sell the points for more than the cash you paid, then well, there you go. Cash wins, right? Pretty much. But if it's something like you're saving a lot of cash even after you sold the points, then in that case, points would come out. But not only that, but so for Maldives specifically, since that's what the subject is about, There are many places. If you're only using points, you're limited to many of the very nice places like One and Only, Fairmont, Four Seasons. Um, there's another one, I forgot the name, but there's like a lot of very unique hotels over there that you miss out on if you're only willing to use points. And like I was when I went over that Luxury Escapes, that place with $1,800, it's not like like Waldorf Astoria nice or St. Regis nice, but you'd be spending so much more cash even after using points. You'd be spending so much cash on the transfer, the food, and with that place, you would literally be not only saving all those Marriott or Hilton points, but you would pay you in many instances you would even some instances you would even pay more because it's just like all over the place. So you have to really think about it. It should never be points only. Like a lot of people have the mentality that I'm just going to use points because points are free. They're not free. There's an opportunity cost. Even as like any points you earn on any card gives you 2 points, $1 or 3 points. Always compared against 2% in cash on that card on any card because that's I think the baseline for cashback cards pretty much. So there's always an opportunity cost. No points are free. I will fight anyone who argues otherwise.
Your time has value. Your time is
Yes.
not free.
Time is not free. Plus, you can literally just get 2% cashback card and get 2% on everything you spend. So if there was ever a card that gave you like one Hilton point or one Marriott point, it would be the worst kind of card to use because 2 cents. Neither of those are worth anywhere near 2 cents.
Yep.
So that's just what I mean.
Cool. Someone asked, would you rather do smaller overwater without personal pool or a beach villa which is twice the size at the Conrad Maldives?
I have done both. The beach villa is twice the size, but a lot of that is just like half of that is the outdoor bathroom, the shower and everything. So unless you plan on spending a lot of time cleaning up from the sand, the overwater experience is just much better, I think, because you can get villas pretty much anywhere in the world, but the overwater experience is very secluded to Maldives. You have Bora Bora, and I know there are some other places too, but that's one of the things that is really special about Maldives. I mean, worst case, split your time between the two and see which one you like. And by that, I mean, I know many people say, but you have to book one time to get the fifth night free. Yes, you can do that. But then when you go up to the hotel, you can ask them to split your stay between the two, and it won't cost you any more points. Especially because normally the beach villa is a little cheaper on points and the cash price than the overwater, except places like Waldorf where it's the other way around. The beach villas are more expensive than the overwater villas. That's just, I guess, how their guests are. So they decided that's better for them. But yeah, I would try both, but 100% prefer overwater unless, you have small kids around you, then you kind of need the beach. It's much safer. Kids are crazy. You'll know soon enough, Stephen. Don't You're
Thanks.
smiling, but you'll know. You'll
Yeah.
know. Just start crawling. Yep.
I know.
All right.
Anything else? We're coming up on the last 15 minutes. Let's give a moment for the comments to come in.
All right.
So while we're waiting, I think to summarize, I think if you're going to be going to the Maldives, stay at least 5 nights, right?
At least.
At
Most
least.
of these hotels, like the Point Program, Marriott and Starwood, Marriott being the most options, they both give you the fifth night free, so it just makes sense to don't do 4. There's this lady I had, I don't want to mention her name, but there was a big argument trying to convince her to stay 5 nights. She just would not listen.
I mean, they're going to give it to you. Might as well, right?
Right. Just.
I mean, I get the cost of food is like astronomical out there, but I mean, that shouldn't. If you're going to
Any
be out
reason
there
to
anyways,
go?
right?
No, Paul. The airport town isn't really. There's nothing there. I've never been, but it's not really all that nice. It's more like a third world country, really. Once you get off Male, then you basically see all the good stuff. Again, it depends on where you go. You can also go to islands with hostels and things like that. They have all kinds of options there, but I would not go all the way there to stay at a hostel. Well, I wouldn't go anywhere to stay at a hostel, really.
Yeah.
What else? Favorite beach destination
in the Western Hemisphere from a combo beach and points value. I like I mean, if you're talking about
Cancun.
Western Hemisphere, I was going to say Cancun or Cabo.
Yeah.
Right, especially in those
Yep,
all-inclusive resorts. If you are able to drink your weight in alcohol, holy crap!
Not just that, but if you're talking about just all-inclusive stuff, then like Hyatt has 2 all-inclusive options. Actually, they have 3 now in Cancun.
Yep.
One just opened up. You've got I think Hilton has one. Actually, does Hilton have one? I don't know. I think most people just choose the Hyatt Ziva or Zilara because it's 25,000 points there for two people, and the rates can very often for two people go over $500. So you get like 2 cents per point, and not just that, but you don't have to worry about anything really, any food or and they include like non-motorized sports as well. So you got your snorkeling gear you can use. You can take a canoe out, just do whatever you want. And speaking of those two, the Ziva is a way better hotel than Zilara because the location is better. I think the food is better. The rooms are nicer, and they have a adults only tower too for people who want to avoid kids. But just the location is much better. It's basically at the very corner of the hotel strip area, so you have beach on all sides, while Zilara is not.
So caveat here,
Yeah.
Shabbir doesn't work a traditional 9 to 5 job, so he obviously has a lot more free time than I do.
Too much free time.
So for those of you who are chained to the corporate desk and only have like 3 to 4 weeks of vacation a year, we need to be a little bit more strategic about planning
You need
these
to
type of
quit your job,
vacations.
is what you need to do.
I know, right? Working on it.
Working on it. Good, good.
Yeah, I hope my boss isn't on this live stream,
Um,
right?
wouldn't that be hilarious?
Yeah, I
It's
know,
like,
right?
Dave, what
Hey,
was
Greg.
this? Yeah, so lots of good options there. And then you have there's a Grand Hyatt in Cancun as well, which has actually very regularly I see raised just a little over $100, which is, well, actually that's way better than using the 20,000 points it requires. Otherwise, you get your breakfast included. So with Hyatt, pretty much most people will either get guest of Hyatt, a guest of honor, sorry, or they will have globalist already. Especially last year was so easy to get. Between January and February of I think last year, if you stayed 50 nights at Hyatt, you got globalist. So always remember that you get your breakfast included. So, and many people skip lunch or have like a light snack for lunch and just go for dinner. So unless you have kids, which I in my case, all inclusive was really good value because with kids you have to you have all the meals. But other than that, otherwise, Grand Hyatt is a really good option, and Andes is the Mayakoba one is probably one of my I say top 5 hotels in North America because just everything about it is nice. It's a really nice hotel. It's part of a big complex which has a Rosewood, Fairmont, and one more. I forget the name, but it's very secluded. It's right in the middle of between Cancun and Playa del Carmen, but it's designed in such a way that you wouldn't even know. You would think you were in a place in the middle of nowhere in the jungle by the ocean. They just made it really nicely. But yeah, I cannot say enough good things about that property. But yeah, so that would be probably, and it's in my case, it's easier to get to Cancun than like Cabo or anything because like 2 hour and 2.5 hour flight, much easier.
Good times.
Good times indeed.
All right. So
All
it
right,
seems like
what
we're
else we
tapering
got?
down on the questions. So let's give it one last opportunity for folks to ask anything else. If not, then we'll go ahead and wrap up.
Yes, Grand Hyatt and
Ship,
Playa del Carmen. Sorry, they're so close by. I just kind of put them together.
it's all in Mexico.
It's
It's all in
yeah,
Mexico,
Mexico,
right?
Cabo, whatever. It's the same thing. Detroit, Los Angeles, whatever.
All right.
Same thing too. All right. I guess there's nothing else.
Okay, cool. So, like we mentioned earlier on in this broadcast, Shabir is always looking for folks to.
I'm gonna type my. Hang on a sec here.
Yeah,
I
he's
can't.
actually also tagged in the FT. If you came through the Facebook page for FTU, he and I are both tagged. I'm not actively recruiting right now, but if you ever have any gift cards outside of Best Buy, you're like, hey, I have this. Where can I go resell it? I can put you in the right direction.
Yep. And hang on a second. Let me just.
This is great for burning Saks Fifth gift cards, Dell Platinum, Business Platinum credits for Dell, uh, GameStop credits, yada yada yada.
So sorry, I just had to turn the camera off here so I could type that in my desktop.
Yep.
Shoot, I think I lost this. Hang on. There we go.
We'll put in the comments that Tommy.
Yeah. So I just put my
posted.
email there in case anyone does want to sell any gift cards or fuel points to me. So just send me an email. Let me know you're interested, and you saw it on FTU because I mean I don't want random people that out of nowhere, because who wants that kind of risk when it
Right.
comes to dealing with so much money?
Right.
But yeah, so free to send me an email. And yeah, unless there's something else, I guess that's it for us.
One last question. Favorite restaurant in DXB if you've
Oh,
had a layover?
favorite
I haven't.
restaurants.
The only time I've been in the Dubai airport was for the Emirates Lounge, so I can't really help there.
Thank you, Brian. Yeah, so I mean, it's only one of the largest metropolitan cities out in the world, so there's quite a few restaurants. I don't think there's can be any single favorite. But I mean, you'll find good restaurants there everywhere. So just do whatever is most convenient and just do a Google Map search and find whatever you can. That's literally what I do. Dubai, Abu Dhabi, it depend, or I guess even Doha. So wherever you're connecting from.
Cool.
Yep. So I guess that's it.
So it's been fun, everyone. Feel free to reach out on Facebook or through email if you have any other questions. Thanks again for all your time. It's always a pleasure that presenting this with Shabbir and talking about fuel points and gift cards and whatnot. So
Same to you, man. Same to you. Same to
uh,
you.
go out there, earn a lot of points, and remember, gift cards isn't the end all be all. This should be only one facet of your overall spending
Yes,
strategy.
there's many ways to, I mean, you can do, a lot of people have ways to get a lot of different credit cards, like their family members, they can open under, they don't mind, all that. Just as long as you don't, run up a balance and screw your cousin and brother-in-law or somebody over, don't do that. Or do that, just don't tell them I mentioned anything about it. But there's a lot of ways. I know there are people that do sign up bonuses, and they do, like, they get 4 or 5 different cards or even more open every month. Of course, sign up bonus, nothing beats a sign up bonus. No bonus points will match that, but this is more of a ongoing method.
Cool.
Yep.
All right. Well, have a good weekend, all. Some people are going to go out to Kroger and grind out those fuel points.
Stephen
Yep,
Kim. Yep. Enjoy, man.
yep.
Was nice seeing you a few weeks ago.
All right. Well, take it easy, and then
Take it
we'll
easy.
catch up more next time.
All right.